Good afternoon, almost, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests. We're glad you're here. Today I have the distinct pleasure of welcoming Jeff Chilson up to do his Competent Communicator speech number 10. And the theme of that speech is Inspire Your Audience. Now, as all of us know, except for our guests perhaps, Jeff has already gone through this tract once before. He has achieved the distinguished title of Distinguished Toastmaster. And so for him, he's looking for ways to go beyond what he already learned, to push himself a little bit further outside and to find out what's that one thing that can really make a difference in his speech, that one thing he can change to make the biggest impact. The Competent Communicator speech number 10 is 8 to 10 minutes, and some of the goals and objectives of that speech are to inspire your audience, relying on the speaker's ability to connect emotionally with the audience, so not following on logic and reason like previous speeches. He wants to build a connection with the audience using Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and ultimately use quotes, anecdotes, vivid words, and of course positive words to inspire his audience to change. Please help me welcome our esteemed Distinguished Toastmaster, Jeff Chilson, in his speech, The Orchid. Oh, sorry. You told me that.
Thank you, Christine. Relationships are a real treasure. Wouldn't you agree? The people in our lives make the highs higher. But there are those times when they make the lows just a little bit lower. Toastmaster friends, guests, what do you do when a relationship that you have with someone that you cherish turns down a path and that road becomes difficult? That was the question I was asking myself several years ago. When my oldest son, Connor, was 4 years old, he was off to preschool. Now, Connor has always been a very energetic child. Strong-willed. As I like to say, he is all boy. But after going through the school year and we're starting to wind down, we got a call from the teacher one day. She said, I've been observing Connor now throughout the school year. I see some things that have me concerned. And I think we should do some further evaluation. Well, that set us off on a path of seeing a whole host of experts. Audiology, sociology, occupational and speech therapy. They threw around terms that were absolutely baffling to me. Inhibitory response, intonation, comorbidity. After about 2 months, this panel of experts came to the same conclusion. Connor falls somewhere on the autistic spectrum. Now, when we got this news, and we heard some of the reports, we kind of nodded our heads a couple times, because we didn't know any different. We said, oh, aha, yeah, I see that. And I see, maybe that is a little bit different for a child. But there were a couple of things that they said that we just sort of scratched our heads and looked at them and said, I don't think we're talking about the same person. And if you've ever bumped up into autism, it's complex. It's a little bit confusing. And personally for me as a dad, struggling with some of these questions. And as I tried to work with Connor, there was always this internal tension. Am I doing the right thing? Am I doing the best thing in his interest? Fortunately for me and for Connor, we have a great ally at his school. We have Tony. He is a teaching consultant. And after a particularly rough year, Tony could see that we needed a little bit of encouragement. And he said, Jeff, the reason why Connor is doing as well as he is because you and your wife are great parents. And I had to let that sink in a little bit. Because as a dad, all I see in particular are what? The struggles. But I had overlooked a very simple but profound effect a dad, a mom, a good home can make. I really love the way that Susan Cain illustrates this in the book Quiet. She puts it this way. Some children are like dandelions. They're very resilient. They grow and they thrive practically anywhere. But there are other children. These children are orchids. They need just the right amount of sun, just the right amount of rain, and just the right type of soil. But when they have that right environment, they can grow up, become something magnificent. So mostly by trial and error, parents figure out what this good environment really looks like. It's time, it's heart, and it's persistence. It's time. I have to commit right from the start. This relationship I have with my child is going to cost me my time, and I have to make this relationship a priority. Heart. I need to love in everything that I do. I need to love enough to serve. I need to love enough to ask for help. I need to love enough to confess my mistakes. Persistence. I need to stick it out. There are going to be days when frustration is all that I feel. But I need to just continue to push forward, or at the very least, hold on and believe a better day can come. Now, all of you sitting here, hearing those three traits, might be thinking yourselves, those aren't just the values that make good parenting, those are the things that make any relationship thrive. You'd be right. Think about that for a moment. Think about that in terms of the people you know and that are around you. Time, heart, persistence. When those three pieces come together, something special happens. I know it has for Connor and me. I can certainly tell when I have those three pieces put together and they're in the right order. It's our father-son relationship works. You can tell when Connor is thriving. Me in particular, I can tell when I look right into his eyes. When I do, there is a brilliant fire in his eyes. It's a fire that says, I am excited. And I am excited about this moment. Nothing breathes more life in that fire in Connor's life than running. Every year, his school holds a 5K race, and Connor loves to participate. Me, however, I am not a runner. But I knew this is an opportunity I could not pass up. This is everything. It's time, it's heart, it's persistence. So I started training. And after about a couple of months, after I was 3 kilometers in to one of my workouts, and my legs felt like they were running through concrete, finally dawns on me, I am working. My relationship with Connor in the past 3 years was turning me into something that was magnificent. Those 3 years with Connor had taught me more about life and love and resolve than 3 decades. When you give someone your time, give them your heart, and give them the attitude that says, I will never give up. You cannot help but be changed in the process. Time, heart, and persistence. When those 3 pieces come together, something special can happen. Think about yourself. Think about the relationships around you. Who's the person that is challenging you the most? Who is someone who needs your time? Who's someone who needs your heart? Who is someone that needs you to just stick it out and believe that a better day can come? And that challenge comes, remember, it takes time. It takes heart. It takes persistence. I believe all three of those values are within the grasp of all of us. When you face that challenge, believe this, you can do it. And when you do, trust me, you will be magnificent. Mr. Desmond.
Louise, we're going to have 1 minute for everyone to fill out their evaluations, because I believe everyone's eyes were wrapped on you, Jeff, and nobody was writing anything because they were so